And action. Hey there, YouTube Ed here. A little bit of a different setup. I'm going to be looking over here a lot because that lets me know if I'm in frame. I have a second screen just here off to the side. In this video, make sure I'm in frame. I'm sorry if that's annoying. In this video, I'm going to add one of these tails to one of these check army keys. Okay. I had a viewer who said he's not able to see the video and he would like a description of this check army key. And best I could describe it is about if you were to take a large oval bar of soap and place it in your palm, it literally goes from your wrist to about 1.5 inches from the end of your fingers. I have big hands, so big large oval bar of soap would be about the best way to describe it. And it's probably 2 inches thick from top to bottom, and it has a cover that opens so that you could get to the gap adjustment and the tension adjustment on the inside. Okay, and that's done by 2 screws. Now when the cover is open, this key will not sound, okay, once you do hook it up. So the only way that I have been able to make it sound with the cover open is there are 2 holes here, and there are 2 metal tabs that go into those 2 holes when the lid is shut, so it's a safety. So if you have a binder clip, you can squeeze the arm of the binder clip and remove it, and actually put the binder clip arm down into the holes where the metal is, and that will short the 2 pieces of metal in there, so that when you are making your gap and tension adjustment, you can do so without having to open and close the lid constantly as you make your adjustments. Okay, so having covered that, I'm going to go ahead and shut the lid. Alright, I know that my description is probably not a very good description, so my apologies. I'll have to work on a way to describe that better. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the bottom cover off of this key so that we can go ahead and get to the part where the wires are. As soon as I laid out some tools but failed to lay out my screwdriver there with me. Okay, here we go. Alright, so the key does have a metal bottom that has like the sides extend beyond the key, so and the metal has a point on one end, a rounded point, and a flat on the back end, so that you could like take the key and slide it into some sort of flanges that would be on a desk in order to hold it down. Now sometimes these screws that are on the bottom will have paint over them, so you do have to get through the paint. I think I have removed this one already because I've already taken off the cord that was on this key. Okay, so I've put the bottom back on. Let's take the bottom off. Underneath the bottom, usually you will find a big rubber gasket, and then you can pinch and pull that rubber gasket off, and then you can see the inner workings of the key. It is quite complicated in there. Like it's crazy complicated. Here's the 2 wires, or the 2 metal flanges that you could shunt these to if you wish, in order to do the same thing as the binder clip down in the hole. Alright, the cord was through this piece of rubber, and this piece of rubber does have a groove in it, so it actually sits right down in that hole. And I really like that about these check keys, because you can actually pull the cord out of there and utilize that same rubber grommet piece. And the cord came up this way, and it had a wire on here and a wire on here on these two screws. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this rubber grommet and I'm going to slide this tail piece through it, push it in there, and I'm going to make sure that it fits in there just fine. Okay, and I'm also going to measure this to see about where do I need to cut this off in order to fit on these two screws, screw 1, screw 2. And I'm going to go ahead, I am going to cut it a little bit longer. Okay, so I'll cut it up, I'm going to cut it even longer, cut it up there. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and strip it all the way back to where that first screw is. So if that's in here like this, there's screw number 1. Let's go ahead and pull that covering off. Okay, I can even take off a bit more than that. Alright, now, this is a straight key, but this is a stereo plug that I'm using. The stereo plug has a red, white, and a black. Okay, now, I've already tested this to know that it is the red and the black that is the tip and the sleeve. Okay, the ring in the middle is the white. I don't need that one, so I'm going to leave that on for the now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remeasure that again, see about where that needs to go. I'm going to come up here a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and snip off some of that black wire. And then go ahead and strip the black wire. And then give it some good twists. I gotta remember to stay in frame. Alright, so I'm just twisting up that black wire. Alright, now that I've done that, I'll go ahead and measure for the red one. Cut off a little bit of that one. And then we'll go ahead and strip that red wire. And give it some twists. Alright. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and slide that grommet in where it goes. Okay, and then remove one of these screws. I'm going to wrap that black wire around that screw. And then tighten it down. Okay, now I got some excess wire in there. I'll go ahead and snip that off. There we go. Alright, I'm going to take the red wire, wrap it around the other screw. Tighten it down. Oh, I think I broke that wire right off. It sure did. Look at that. Sure did. And I broke it off because I didn't leave myself any room for that screw to tighten and pull on that red wire. But you know what? I need that red wire. So I'm going to try, and rather than waste a tail, I'm going to do something horrible and see if I can splice into that wire by using this white one. Alright, this time I will just wrap around that wire. I'm going to tighten this. See if I can strip off a little bit more of that red wire. That's absolutely horrible. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear my radio over there, so I'm going to make sure I'm not doing a break-in, turn off the gear. It's not even in frame. Well, that works, and I think what I'm going to do is maybe loosen this wire or screw and just retighten it, or reaffix it a little bit better in there, and I'll put that grommet back on, and then reassemble the key, and we'll see how it goes. That was a horrible fix, wasn't it? Hopefully on the next one I do, I won't mess it up like that. Alright, well, anyway, let's see if I can show you these two screws. It is this screw and this screw. And then here's that rubber grommet. Alright. Well, this concludes this abomination of a video. And you know what? I might even just post it to show you that sometimes these things take 5 and 6 takes to make a good one. Alright, thanks for watching. I'm at W4EMB, and over to my other screen. We'll catch you on the next one.